Welcome, everybody, to the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners regular meeting. Today is July 22nd, 2026, and it is 7:02 p.m. Call to order. A roll call, sorry.
President Lestracco.
Here.
Vice President Partha.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus. Here. Commissioner DeLessio.
Here.
Commissioner Zipfel.
Here.
Okay, before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, I just wanted to announce we had an executive session tonight at 6 p.m. to discuss real estate, personnel, and litigation. For the Pledge of Allegiance, I would like to ask Mr. Bryan, would you like to lead us in the pledge? Thank you so much.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next, approval of our agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Zipfel,
Second?
second by Commissioner DeLessio. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, citizens' comments. This is citizens' comments based on our agenda for agenda items only. So if you'd like to make a citizen's comment, please come up to the podium and state your name and address. All right, seeing none, we'll move to consent items. The consent items for treasurer's report, bills payable, paid bills of $56,057.31, unpaid bills, $588,846.01. Also the VMSC monthly report for June, the HTMA monthly report for June as well. Do I have a motion to file these into these consent items?
So move.
A motion by Vice President Partha,
Second?
seconded by Commissioner DeLessio. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it has passed. All right, next we're going to go to our fun part of the evening. You see a lot of familiar faces. We have the Chapman Scholarship Awards presentation tonight, and I want to thank and introduce Lieutenant Jeff Boyd for leading us tonight in this, and you can come on up to the podium. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, and thank you for having us again this year and allowing us this time to recognize some exceptional young people. We're still waiting on a couple of the students to arrive.
Okay.
One thing I did want to touch on is that if you've been to the presentation in the past, or if you've been on the board in the past, we normally would issue 4 scholarships in Officer Chapman's name. Something that happened this year was that Township Manager Aaron Bibro connected the scholarship committee with the North Penn Health Hospital and Education Authority, another nonprofit that's within Hatfield Township, and they were looking to introduce a scholarship or something on the education component of their foundation, and connected myself with their board president. And after discussions with both of our boards, the North Penn Health Hospital Education Authority agreed to match our 4 scholarships and award 4 additional scholarships for a total of 8. And I just want to recognize those individuals that are here tonight from the board. Neil Brady, they all sat right in front of us. Jeff Basich, Jerry Leahy, and Les Brown is the other board member who I don't think is here tonight with us. But thanks to their contribution, we were able to give 8 $1,000 scholarships this year to graduating seniors. So appreciate, and hopefully this is the start of a long tenure together in doing this. So it's very nice of you guys to step up and do that. A little backstory as you came in. Tonight, we're pleased to have the opportunity to publicly recognize the recipients of the 2026 Officer William J. Chapman Memorial Scholarship. The scholarship is now in its 21st year, and it honors a colleague who was a Hatfield Township officer for 15 years prior to his death in 2005 following a serious illness. Officer Chapman was not only an exemplary police officer, but also an extraordinary man. Those who were fortunate enough to call him a friend remember his kindness, loyalty, tireless optimism, and his remarkable sense of humor. Those who met him because of his profession remember a sincere and fair officer whose efforts never strayed from serving our community with dedication and benevolence. To honor Officer Chapman and continue his legacy, his fellow officers founded this scholarship. We could think of no better way to cultivate the ideals held by Officer Chapman than assisting students who have chosen a career that personally invests their efforts and talents back into their communities. Graduating high school seniors seeking an undergraduate degree in public service-related oriented fields such as criminal justice, education, medicine, law, or social work are eligible to apply for the scholarship. The students being acknowledged tonight exemplify the spirit of the scholarship, and while we're very impressed with their scholastic accomplishments, they distinguish themselves through their outstanding personal achievements and commitment to their communities. Officer Chapman would be proud of these extraordinary young adults receiving the scholarship that bears his name. Congratulations to all of our winners tonight. I understand there's some more scholarships that'll be handed out later. Congratulations to those winners as well, and for helping us honor our friend. As you can see in the background, the slideshow that's being played, 3 of our 8 winners already started senior sessions with their college or had family conflicts and weren't able to make it. We did already have the opportunity to meet with them and grab a picture while we gave them their scholarship. If there's any of the scholarship winners, there was a little bit of a time mistake on what time the meeting started, the old 7:30 start time.
Sorry about
compared to
that.
the new 7. Oh, no, not your fault. That's our fault entirely. So any of the winners that are here, if you could please come up and join me. So joining me tonight are other board members, Detective Corporal Eric Geiger, Detective Sergeant Bill Steinberg, and Officer Nicole Sylvia, who are going to be giving some background information on our winners tonight. Thank you.
All right. I have the pleasure to talk about one young gentleman. Brendan Boyd happens to be related to Lieutenant Jeff Boyd, obviously, a great human being. Brendan's a Souderton High School graduate. At Souderton High School, Brendan was a member of the Interact Club, the Athletic Leadership Council, and captain of the varsity boys baseball team. Through the Interact Club, Brendan volunteered at Care and Share thrift store and Jenna's Blessing Bags, collecting and distributing clothing, personal hygiene supplies, and foodstuffs to improve the lives of the homeless population. Brendan also volunteered at MCAP, or the Montgomery County Child Advocacy Program, or project. An organization provides free legal representation for children who have experienced abuse by creating social media content to promote fundraising events and spread awareness. During this summer, Brendan can be found lifeguarding at the Hatfield Aquatic Center, where he has worked for several years. Brendan will be attending Penn State University, pursuing a degree in criminology and financing. Congratulations, Brendan.
Next up is Alyssa Veal. Alyssa is a graduate of North Penn High School. At North Penn, Alyssa has received numerous academic awards and extracurricular activities, such as president of the Key Club, a member of the National Honor Society, a Link Leader, an AP Scholar with Honors Award winner, with being a 4-year member of the varsity girls softball team, winning 2 state titles. Outside the classroom, Alyssa has participated in the Discover Health program at Jefferson Einstein Health for several summers, observing clinical practices and gaining hands-on patient care experience. Alyssa organized a fundraiser to provide softball equipment for young athletes in the southern Philippines and participated in a book donation project that helped build a library in an underserved school community. Alyssa will be attending New York University, majoring in psychology or neuroscience on a pre-medicine track. Her ultimate goal to become a physician. Alyssa will also be continuing her softball career at NYU. Congratulations, Alyssa. We have 3 scholarship recipients that we're not expecting tonight. They couldn't make it. Those are Madeline Portosilvo, Tegan Geiger, and Tanvi Iyengar. All have equally impressive resumes. Unfortunately, they could not make this evening's presentation due to family obligations or the start of summer sessions at their respective schools. Scholarship committee members were able to meet with them and present them with their awards, as you can see in the slideshow later on. Congratulations to them.
Our next winner is Nicholas O'Brien. Nicholas is a graduate of Lansdale Catholic High School.
At LC, Nicholas was a student athlete, captain of the football team, and awarded the Pat O'Hara Loyalty Award. This award is given to a player that is not only dedicated to his team, but also the community. Nicholas was a volunteer with the Cannoneers Challengers, an adaptive football program for children and young adults with physical and intellectual challenges, along with the Whites Road MLK Community Park Cleanup Day. Nicholas will be attending Mr. Corday University, pursuing a degree in nursing. Congratulations, Nicholas. Next winner is Lillian Story. Lillian is a graduate of North Penn High School and North Monco Technical Career Center, where she was in the Protective Services program. Lillian was a member of the National Technical Honor Society, active in her community creating care packages for patients at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, along with numerous clothing and toy drives. Lillian will be attending Flagler College, pursuing a degree in psychology and criminology with a career intention of joining the FBI or being a police officer. Congratulations, Lillian.
And the final recipient tonight, Merez Rayed. Merez is a graduate of North Penn High School and North Monco Technical Career Center, where she was in the Protective Services program. Merez is active in her church, St. Mary and St. Krylos Coptic Orthodox Church in Hatfield, volunteering and teaching younger members. Academically, Merez is a member of the Key Club and Skills USA Challenges as an OSHA and CSI competitor, and already holds numerous Emergency Management Institute certifications. On top of this, Merez has worked at Mom's Water Ice in Hatfield Borough for the past 4 years. Merez will be attending Drexel University, pursuing a degree in criminology and law, ultimately seeking a career in immigration law. Congratulations, Merez.
Okay, so maybe if you can all stay, we're going to do another set of scholarships, and then we'll do 1 or 2 photos after that. Is it okay if you stay? And maybe the other people will come, so maybe. Okay. Okay, so next up, we're going to have our Aquatic Center Scholarship Awards. And we have John Taylor, our pool manager, who I want to give a really big shout out to John for, it's been a really, I know there's been some challenges with the weather this year, the season at the swim club at our aquatic center, but we just want to thank you for doing an amazing job every day. And a huge shout out to the Hatfield Sharks, who I think they're competing right now. Is that correct?
I think they have beat champs tonight, yes.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is John Taylor. I'm the pool manager of the Hatfield Aquatic Center. It is my pleasure to have the opportunity to present the following Aquatic Center staff a scholarship given to them by the North Penn Health Hospital and Education Authority, as mentioned before. The award scholarship recipients here tonight have been employees of the Aquatic Center since 2022, possess an excellent work ethic, and are recent graduating seniors who are pursuing higher education and training. It has been a pleasure to work with all of them for these past 4 years. Hack staff, when I call your name, please come up front to receive your award and stay until all awards have been presented, so the spotlight's on you, okay? I don't think everyone is here tonight, but we're gonna recognize everyone. So Andrew Ahern is, I don't see him here. Andrew is going to Monco. He's a lifeguard at the Hatfield Aquatic Center. We also have Vanessa Blissman. She's a snack bar supervisor at the Hatfield Aquatic Center, and she's also going to Montgomery County Community College. We have Brendan Boyd. Brendan, if you come up, please. Right here is good. Brendan, as mentioned before, is pursuing finance at Penn State University. We have Elijah Kearns. Elijah is going to East Stroudsburg University for health and physical education. Next, we have Aaron Leary. And Aaron is going to Westchester University, undeclared. Is that, I have that right? Okay. And next we have Augusta Taylor. And Gussie will be going to Penn State University for organizational leadership. Next, we have Willa Taylor. And Willa will be going to DeSales University for nursing. And last, we have Aaron Walsh. Aaron will going to be going to St. Joseph University for Health and Science. Congratulations to all of you. And before we go, again, we'd like to thank Neil Brady, Jeff, Jerry, and Les of the North Penn Health Hospital and Education Authority for your generosity towards our senior staff at the Hatfield Aquatic Center. Thank you again.
Okay, so should we do a photo of, first we'll do the Chapman Scholarship Award winners. If you want to come up right up front here and we'll take a photo.
We'll do officers with them and then bring in the commissioners. Let's get you guys back against the back over there. All right, ready, everybody? All right, great. Commissioner Hoffman, you guys stay right there. Commissioners? Chief, Hoffman. Perfect. I can cut you out there. We need some work here. I'm about that high tech. All right, perfect. Chief, great. Thank you. Thank Officers stay with the award winners, and I want the North Penn Health. Here is Jeff. Come on up. It's gonna put, I know you guys like pictures.
As soon as I heard you were on the softball team.
We just gotta even it out a little bit. They need you over there too, Jeff. Yeah, Jerry, Jeff, you can scoot in. Here we go. There we go. Perfect. Yeah. Excellent, thank you. You guys.
I can rep it. That didn't work, did it?
Yeah. John, this one here. We need to tighten up here. John, you want to hop on the other side? Let's use that as our middle point, so if we can shift. Anything on you could maybe hop over there just so we can even out here in the middle? Yeah, you mind? I want to get it. I know John's scared. Somebody open up the certificate. Great idea. You guys want to open up the awards? It's very artistic awards. You're hired. You want to start at the bottom? All right. Whatever she says. Here we go. Perfect. Commissioners hop in. Get the award winners stay. Let's get the commissioners in the authority. You guys are all set. Thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate it. Very good. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, Christopher.
What's that? Yeah, we are.
Looks like a lawyer did come.
So we have, 6 minutes.
Oh, that's Pulte. Oh, okay, he's the star. Okay. For the, I got you.
Okay.
It's going to take
Okay.
This next two will be quick.
We'll then do the other one.
garage?
Public Works. Let's do the garage. We'll do that.
Do the garage, and then we'll come
Yeah.
back to open space later.
Do the garage, then we'll do the hearing continuance, and then do the referendum.
Okay. Because our stenographer is here setting up, we're going to go to public hearings, letter B. So that's on page 2. Public hearings, letter B, Public Works Storage Garage zoning. And then after we do that, we're going to go to the action items. I'm sorry, we're going to go
The other
to,
hearing.
we're going to go then to page 3, which I'll let you know when that happens, for the public hearing at 7:30, which it's not really a public hearing, but kind of, right?
Sure.
Okay.
You me
All right.
take it from here, President Lestrako?
Sure, thank you.
I'd be happy to, sure. Okay, so we have 2 public hearings. It is a little clunky for those in the audience, because at 7:30, we do have to just pause and get on the record that we're continuing the Pulte conditional use hearing until next month. So for those of you who may be here for the conditional use hearing, it is not happening tonight. It will be continued in August.
Mr. Panzer, the special counsel for the township, asked that we push it to August. He asked for the continuance, so that's why.
All right, so if we stop at 7:30 for that, you'll know why. All right, so the first hearing tonight we have is one of our public works projects that has been budgeted, discussed, and ready to purchase and install. It is a storage garage in our public works facility. The reason we're having this public hearing tonight is because the location of the garage is inside the yard. The red square or rectangle isn't as accurate as I was hoping it would be, so keep in mind, this will all be contained in the fence that is currently existing. We are well beyond the 50-feet buffer requirement as a setback from a zoning standpoint when you look at several different angles, except for the one that's outlined at 37 feet. So we have an ordinance here in Hatfield that allows municipal projects to have a public hearing to discuss the project if it happens to not meet certain setbacks. Given that this is for our public works garage, this is for the safety of the community, this will be contained in the yard. It's simply another storage
area within our yard that we would like to pursue. The commissioners do have the ability to allow the township to move forward without having to go through a more formal process through the zoning hearing board. So in an effort to move this project along to support our Public Works Department, in front of you tonight is a resolution that would allow us to move forward with this project, as you see outlined on the illustration.
Thank you. So for Resolution 2615, do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Zipfel, seconded by Vice President Partha. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it has passed.
All right, thank you, commissioners. So I'll give, how about my staff report? I'll kill some more time for 2 minutes because the referendum is going to take a little longer.
Okay.
So just an update that we would have done at the end of the meeting, just an update for the community. A project that we have talked about for years, the Liberty Bell Trail connection behind Snyder Square that's going to connect Hatfield Borough to Orvilla Road, which at then some point will connect Orvilla Road into Lansdale Borough. It's a trail connection that we've been working on for years. The Liberty Bell Trail is considered a significant regional trail. However, if you look at all these maps through, if anyone here is into cycling or running, and you look at the circuit trail map that Philadelphia has through the Regional Planning Commission, you'll see that Liberty Bell Trail is a rather long route from Quakertown to Norristown. However, for the last 50 years, the only portion that was built was a half a mile in Hatfield Borough, right at Diddens, that many of you may have used. So we're finally now, after years of work, we're in a position, as of this morning, we did get the clearance from PennDOT to go toward bidding out the project. So the township, thanks to the township commissioners and their steadfast commitment to making these connections possible. We're going to have 1,500 feet of trail installed to make the connection then into Hatfield Borough. So that portion of our town can then walk into Hatfield Borough and head out to the Hatfield Museum. That's a very popular feature in that area, as well as all the other restaurants in the borough. It's a nice connection. We'll build off of that and we'll connect to other towns, but this is the first step. So in 50 years, a half a mile becomes another quarter of a mile, and we keep chipping away. So that is something that we're going to go out to bid this fall, and construction will begin finally in the spring. The commissioners received a $1 million grant 7 years ago.
I was going to say, it's a long time.
It was before COVID. And since, we have been going through a very tricky process for reasons I can never explain. But it is a process that we had to go through, and this morning we were cleared for that. So thankfully that's moving forward. That is my update. It is 7:30, so we are going to open a hearing.
I'll take it over.
Would you like to take it over? All right, our solicitor will take it from here.
Thank you.
Ready? Okay. All right, we're on the record. Today is July 22nd, 2026 at 7:30 p.m. This was the scheduled continuation of the conditional use hearing by the applicant, Pulte Homes. We have a request by Mr. Panzer, special counsel for the township, to continue this matter until August 26 at 7:30 p.m. Ms. Von Spreckelsen did not object to this continuance request. I assume that the commissioners do not object. A motion would be in order to continue this on the record, meaning there is no further publication, no further notices, no further advertising, and no posting. Doing it on the record saves us a lot of advertising costs. So my recommendation is that someone make a motion that we continue until August 26th at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time. Is there such a motion?
Yep, I'll make a motion to continue conditional use hearing for Pulte Homes to August 26th at 7:30 p.m.
Second? Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you very much. We can close.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone. That's it.
All right. So that hearing's closed. Now we're going to open another hearing. Kristen, do we need a motion to open this hearing, or we're going to open the hearing? The hearing is now open. All right, moving on to agenda item A in the public hearings. You want it for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's on page 2.
I will mark some exhibits because there are some legislative requirements. T1 is the letter to the reporter sending the notice for the advertisement. T2 is the proof of publication. T3 is the attested proposed ordinance sent to the law library. T3 is the ordinance itself. And T5 is the legal notice advertising the ordinance that is of discussion this evening. Go ahead, Aaron.
Okay, all right, thank you, and thank you, Commissioners. So for those in attendance, just keep in mind that tonight, the only thing is being considered is an ordinance that would allow a referendum to appear on the ballot in November. So what is this ballot and what does it mean? The state of Pennsylvania allows municipalities the ability to levy a tax that would be dedicated to raise revenue simply for the purchase of real estate, for preservation, for recreation, and for a few other items that we're going to outline here tonight. So this is the ballot question that residents will see in November. And I would imagine at first glance, there is a lot of words, and the majority of them that are not, all of them that aren't bolded are required legislatively. So the state says to towns, you can go to referendum for this purpose, however, you need to include this language. In bold is what the commissioners have agreed to include in the referendum in the fall. So I'll just read it so it's part of the hearing. Do you favor the imposition of an additional earned income tax at the rate of 0.25% by Hatfield Township for the purpose of acquiring lands and other interests in real property to preserve undeveloped land and expand opportunities for outdoor recreation, retire indebtedness, and to pay transactional fees incidental to such acquisitions, pay other expenses for the preparation of resource, recreation, or land use plans related to such acquisitions, and finance the expenditure of up to 25% of annual revenue for the development, improvement, design, engineering, and maintenance of lands acquired for an open space benefit or benefits. Just to give you a sense of our neighboring communities, Hatfield's rate right now for an earned income tax is 0.5%. The school imposes 0.5% as well. So if you live in Hatfield Township, you pay 1% currently of earned income tax that is split evenly between Hatfield and North Penn School District. If you live in Lower Salford, as of just a few months ago, you will now be paying 0.75% to the town and still 0.5% to Souderton School District, as an example. Franconia the same way. Lansdale is the 0.5, same as us as we are now. New Britain is 0.625. So those towns, just as in examples of towns around us, some in particular, Franconia, have had this open space tax for years, which has given the town the ability to raise funds to acquire open space, which is why when you drive through Franconia, they have thousands of acres that are permanently preserved. So that is an advantage that Hatfield has not had. These are the communities in purple around us that currently have this earned income tax for the purpose of open space preservation. So as written, the ordinance says the commissioners have the ability to, if the referendum would be approved in the fall, the commissioners would have, and we'll talk about the process as we get through the slides, they would have the ability to increase the earned income tax from where we are today at 0.5% to 0.75 as the cap. Anywhere in between there would be up to the commissioners on an annual basis. So if imposed at the highest rate possible by the ordinance, if you are making $100,000, your annual increase would be $250 per year, and so on. The township expects, if the referendum is approved and the maximum would be imposed at some point, the township would be able to generate roughly $2.1 million a year to pursue these opportunities. So procedurally, if this would pass, and again, it only passes if the residents support this referendum. The commissioners tonight simply put it on a ballot if interested, and then the community decides if it should be enacted or not. Annually, then the commissioners, as part of our budget process here in Hatfield, as we're looking at all of our revenues and expenditures. The board would then review if there are open space opportunities and decide at that point annually if the tax should be 0 or should it be somewhere between 0 and 0.25%. It can be determined on an annual basis. It's more flexible than what we had initially understood when we started this process. There is the ability. You cannot ever increase it above, and that is a state requirement. It is capped at that 0.25 for open space, and the commissioners can adjust accordingly moving forward. So an important slide, who pays this tax and who doesn't? So it is called an earned income tax for a reason, and if you have any type of employment, you will be paying, if the referendum is approved, you will be paying this tax. However, if you are retired, if you are living off of investment income or dividends or rental properties, inheritance, social, if you're on a fixed income, if you inherited money as a child, as a dependent, you will not pay any additional funds than you pay now. So it is an earned income tax increase, but if you are in that right column, you will not pay a penny. So this is an updated map of Hatfield Township with the borough in the center. The lighter shade of green, the lime green we'll call it, are undeveloped properties in Hatfield Township, 10 acres or more. So we asked for no other criteria besides size. So anything 10 acres and above, we just wanted to show an illustration of what has not been developed here in Hatfield Township. This map doesn't mean anything more than that. It doesn't mean that the commissioners are going to pursue any of these properties. It doesn't mean that any of these properties have approached us. It simply is an illustration to understand what is currently not developed in our town. If the commissioners approve to move forward with the ordinance tonight, we submit to the county, to the Board of Elections, and then on November 3rd, which is the next election day, this referendum will appear. So this is a public hearing, so we would welcome any questions or comments from our residents. We are going to, and you may have noticed by just my tone of presentation, we're simply here to provide information. We're here to discuss the opportunity. I'm not advocating for or against as the township, so as we communicate after today on social media and on the website, it's going to be a lot of frequently asked questions and information. This policy decision is ultimately up to our community. So we've heard a lot from our community over the years, but we'll see exactly how our community feels as far as whether or not we should raise money to buy property. And if anybody would like to go to the microphone for this specific public hearing, please do, and we'll do our best to answer or provide some feedback.
Hi, I'm Susan Walsh. I live at 1190 Mason Road. I'd just like to say that I am a big supporter of open space, so I think this is great. I just have one question. When you, I know I lived in a township prior to here that had an open space program for like 25 years, and they used the money that they made in interest from the pool of money that they had, if there was nothing to buy, to improve existing open space. Would we be able to do that also?
Great question. So the law has changed within the last 5 to 10 years that allow townships now to use this income. 25% of it can actually go toward existing open space or parks to improve those. So if imposed at that $2.1 million range, 25% of it can be used to build a Liberty Bell Trail, can be used to improve School Road Park, Fricks Park, our Lenhart Preserve, all of the areas.
So 25% of the total.
Of what is collected.
What is collected, what about the interest? Can you use the interest also on that? Or?
I think prior to the 25% rule, might have been the interest rule. I'd have to look
Right,
further into
okay,
that.
they
But
may have changed it,
the
yeah.
initial law was stricter than it is today. They do recognize that open space does need maintenance.
Right.
And so the state did allow for towns to use 25% of it.
So you can make improvements to existing parks
Correct.
and recreation.
Correct.
Would that include the pool area?
That is something that we're going to look into.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I do need, if you don't mind going to the microphone, unless you just want me to.
Can you put the slide back that says how much it would be for the income?
Sure,
Oh, that was it.
sure. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, my name's Jeff Clark. I live at 2105 Hidden Meadow in Comar. I have two questions. When I first heard about this, I was wondering what open space we even had here.
Yeah.
Is that strictly, as of now, undeveloped? Like, there's nothing there?
Oh, each property is unique, so I
Right.
can't blanketly say that. But the ones in lime green, we would consider undeveloped properties
Of 10 acres. And
of 10 acres or more.
Okay.
That doesn't mean there's currently a use taking place on it. For
Right,
example,
no, I
Twin
understand
Woods
that.
Golf
I
Course is on here, but, good.
Say a business decides to move out.
Yeah.
I'll just pick somebody dormant over on Walnut Street.
Yeah.
If they decide to close and raise the building, would that be considered open space?
It could be, sure. Absolutely. This is fluid. This is not a fixed map by any means. If this goes through for the next period of time until the commissioners decide over time to sunset this income tax, any property could be
Okay.
available.
I have one more question.
Good.
Who initiates, or who would initiate? Would whoever owns the property approach the township to say, we want to so-called donate it to open space, or would the township approach the owners?
It could go either way. So the process is, if the referendum is approved, the board then has to form an open space committee, which is residents of our community would be appointed to a board. That board then starts to determine what is a priority. That board, on behalf of, as an agent of the township, could pursue, but that at any time, a property owner could come to us and begin the discussions.
Okay. And just to be clear, I am for open space, so.
Thanks for coming out.
Go ahead.
Sandra Levine, Hatfield Township. I just have a question. Is there anything about the state having eminent domain to be able to say, oh, we now need that space that you have reserved for open space? Somebody brought that to my attention who lives in another place, and I don't know the answer.
You're saying as far down the road, the state or another government entity someday potentially using that for a public reason?
Theoretically.
In theory, that could happen, sure. Sure. Now, if the township acquires and preserves it, keep in mind that would be in perpetuity. It would never be able to be developed again. Now, if a utility, 100 years from now, if PennDOT needs to put a road through somewhere, maybe, right? They have the legal ability to do so. I don't anticipate that happening anytime soon.
Hi, Michael Saloni, Holiday Avenue, Hatfield. I'm a big fan of open space. So I'm just curious, like, how is this presented at a meta level to the township?
To our community,
Yeah.
Mike? If you'd like to answer, Commissioner DeLucia?
So we're starting right now just to let folks know that it's going on the ballot, but we have talked about having town halls in the September-October frame ahead of November, just to spread the word and answer questions that people may have. Again, not to advocate for or against, it's up to the residents what they'd like to do, but not everybody comes to the meetings, not everybody comes to the videos, so we're going to announce on social media where we're going to come and meet in this room, and people who have questions and want to understand it better can have conversations like we're having here. And so we're thinking September, October.
And in the short term, Mike, we will be putting out information through our social media channels and our website as well as our township newsletter in the fall. Simply information. What does this mean? A lot of what you just saw on the slides, just helping people understand what this is.
Okay. Excellent. You have my full support. Anything I can do to help, Aaron.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Reverend David Stickley, 1143 Wright Street. I live in the new North Penn Del Webb community. I'm in favor of open space, mainly because of the fact that both my wife and I's parents all grew up on farms. And 2 of those farms are still existing. One of them is down in Upper Providence Township, and the other one, which has been in our family since 1740, is down in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. That one was preserved by the family. They set up a trust fund, and it goes on to perpetuity. Commissioner Andrus raised some points last month at our meeting. And it made me start thinking about some things. The first of which is, yes, we're talking about a pot of money. Do we have a target for that pot? Do we have an idea of how much any of this will cost? You mentioned Franconia Township, and I know they just purchased some open space along with New Hanover Township. But they used grant money to do that. You know, foundations and others have done that. I also know that some of the developers up in Blooming Glen are not happy because the former owner of Rosenberger's Dairy down here took the money that he got from selling Rosenberger's Dairy, and he's been purchasing all the open space up there before the developers can get it. Have we looked at the option of how others can be a part of this process of providing for open space in our township? We have businesses here. We have individuals like myself. Somebody asked me what I do now. I've retired 3 times. The third time was after 18 months on the front line caring for the dying during COVID. I now do philanthropy. Last year when they had the fire at the Hatfield Village, we donated 9 brand new coats for children and 3 coats for adults. I have 12 coats in my house right now, if you know of an organization that has children that need winter coats. I started this when I retired in 2021. But anyway, you know, how do we as individuals be a part of this? I think that's some of the information that might be helpful to us is, you know, what target are we looking for? What processes are we looking to raise that kind of money? Do we have any idea of how much some of this real estate might cost? So, you know, Commissioner Andrus got me thinking. I'm a behavioral scientist by training and I'm a behavioral statistician, so I know I can make numbers say anything I want, you know, if they're not in context. So if you tell me we've got $1.2 million, but we need 10 to buy this piece of land, that's a different context. If we have $5 million sitting in the bank doing nothing, that's a different context. I'm also glad to hear that we can stop it at any process. And that's why I'm asking, is there a goal we're shooting for initially? And if we reach that, then do we, say, okay, we don't need to keep collecting this tax for now? So I have more questions than I have answers, but it made me think of where we're trying to get to and where we're trying to go.
Reverend, those are good questions. And I think I have, at least from my perspective, and I think my other commissioners will join me in this, I have a couple of answers that how I view this, not just the process, but kind of what you were talking about. We have an open space plan that's been around for 15 years.
05.
Was that 05?
Since 05, yep.
And so on that plan has previously been identified a number of locations, some of which I think are still on here. In fact, I know that they are on here. Yep. And so back then there's always been a sense of what properties would be most desirable based on size in particular, and then also utility, because maybe it would either be open space in a particular area or maybe there could be some use of it. But and we've always, as commissioners, kind of had a sense of what the value of some of these were, but it's been more informal in that regard. I do, and so I wanted you to know that we've had that previously. And what this allows us to do, and I think one of the most attractive parts, and it goes right to your last point, which is that the commissioners have a tool in the tool belt on an annual basis to make a determination of how to adjust what the rate would be with a maximum of 0.225%. And so as determined, maybe there's, a property or an effort that is being considered, then the commissioners, not just us, but future commissioners, can determine whether they want to adjust that up, down, whatever they deem to be appropriate in the best interest of the township. I find that to be a rather attractive component of this. And then the last piece I will tell you, and I've mentioned this, and for those of you who sat through the meetings before, I'll mention it again, which is, this is kind of the ultimate in democracy, right? This is not 5 commissioners making a decision and saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. It's allowing the residents of Hatfield to make the decision. Now, I'm not advocating one way or the other. We kind of made a promise. I made a promise to my residents in Ward 4 that I'm not going to be publicly an advocate for or against, because it's ultimately the decision makers are sitting in this room, and they should be. But boy, it's a really nice opportunity for the town as a whole to come out and tell us what they want. There was a referendum like this some years ago. It predated all of us by many years. Or maybe not all of us. And well, broadly, there was the township had a previous referendum that did not go through. But that was a long time ago, and it was the township is different. Our needs are different, our interests are different, and it gives a voice to people who previously did not have a voice. So I'm particularly interested to see how this ends up. So hopefully, Dave, Reverend, that answered some of your questions.
Reverend, you also mentioned about other sources. So number one, thank you to your family for preserving land in the Shenandoah Valley. I know that Aaron and our staff are very active. If there's any collaborations we can do with the county or other grants, they actively pursue them to try to get funds into the township to preserve open space. But some of these larger properties cost millions of dollars, and so the tools in our tool belt right now aren't that large. And while we would love if families who have property had the financial means to do what your family so wonderfully did, which is save their farm themselves as opposed to sell to developers, not everybody will be able to do that. So this would provide us an opportunity, if the taxpayers of Hatfield approved it, to give us a revenue source to preserve land in our town. But to your question about other sources, we do, I know Aaron and the staff are very aggressive at trying to get any types of money to come in here. It's just usually not in the tens of millions of dollars that become available. For road improvements, things like that, we've gotten large grants. But just flat out money to buy property and leave it vacant, I think the opportunities are more limited.
Every penny received would be leveraged into receiving and pursuing more funds from the state and the county. It would all be part of the process. Go ahead, Aaron.
Good. Thank you for the information. Aaron Blanc of Hatfield and, or Linden Lane. One thing that I would bring up, because I'm in that category of the earned income tax payer. So a lot of the voters are not. One little question I have is, how do we come up with this is the way that we collect the money? Because how many people are voting on this who won't be affected by it financially?
So that's a really good question. And I will tell you, as a part of our consideration, not just tonight, but in advance of that slide that Aaron just popped up has been some discussion, right?
Yeah.
Because there are some people, there are presumably could be lots of people who vote for this who are not going to be impacted. I will be. Many others who are probably here will be. And there's no particular way, there really is no way to say you can vote, you can't vote, or you weighted votes or anything like that.
Sure.
And the mechanism that comes by way of the state, as I understand it, is the EIT, which means we don't have it wasn't our choice to say it is earned income tax that creates this process. That's the mechanism that we're allowed to pursue by way of the referendum. So that is the rub. I mean, I said, I'm going to be totally straightforward in this, not an advocate one way or the other. There are going to be people who are not going to be impacted by this financially whatsoever. There are going to be people who are going to be impacted by this very specifically. That those percentages are, very real numbers for a lot of people, and that is not lost on us. That is one of the reasons why, instead of us having conversations about doing it unilaterally, not that we could do it by way of this mechanism unilaterally, we said, okay, let's bring it to the residents. And I think those who brought it to the table, it's a good idea to bring it to the residents. So I don't know if that answers your question.
It did. I mean, it was just more of like a point of consideration and thought that will be brought up. That's all. I know it's the way it has to be.
We're fully expecting that there are going to be people who are going to say, I don't want to have to pay $375 extra.
Right.
And then there are going to be other people who have no financial impact whatsoever who are going to say, yeah, open space, great, love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the reality of this process.
Yeah. I appreciate that there will probably be a town hall, because I was going to ask for one, and I would ask for it to be before the mail-in ballots come out. I also expect it to be on social media and so forth. Where would you say is the best way for residents to submit questions, not related to the town hall, but just like, I might think of something next week. I don't want to be like texting and bothering people. So like, if you have something on Facebook or the website, will there be like an easy submission of questions?
We've been working for a while to come up with a frequently asked question section that's going to be on our website in the next few days that we think is pretty thorough.
Okay.
If there's anything beyond, we'll be posting to Facebook as well, and I don't think people are shy about commenting on our Facebook page. So you can comment there, and then if we see or hear a repeated question, we will add that to our FAQ on our website. So we will just continue to update that as we go. It's hard to predict the questions that are coming, but we do have hundreds of other towns that have done this that we are borrowing information from. So they've been through it, they've heard it. We're going to package a lot of their information to our residents.
Okay.
But feel free to reach out, Aaron.
Yeah. I have another question question. So I am aware of some of these plots of land, and you mentioned that the ones that were over 10,000
10 acres.
10 acres are identified here, but can this money be used to buy a smaller property?
Yes.
It's just these are identified. Okay. Here's a question. So if we build up some money and there's no opportunities identified, do we just keep taking the earned income tax and building without?
So that will be a decision made by your elected officials, our Board of Commissioners, on an annual basis.
Okay.
To give you an example how a neighboring town does it, Hilltown, for example, feels as if they've collected enough and there aren't more opportunities. They set their tax rate to 0. right? So there is the ability by the board to adjust every year,
Okay.
depending on the needs.
That's what I was curious about too, because, just keep
Yeah,
going or
so I view it as
pause.
kind of an additional consideration, budget time. We get a general millage rate, we've got a public safety millage rate, we've got a park and rec millage rate. This is one that we can make a determination. And again, it's not we, the five of us. This is forward thinking in the sense that it goes beyond any of us, so that pretty much into perpetuity, they can make a decision. It could be 0. It could be 0.25%. It could be, hey, you know what? We don't have a need anymore. Okay, well then it's 0. Or hey, we have a serious need and it's in the best interest of the township, then maybe it would be a higher number.
Okay, and one last question. You mentioned an open space board being formed. Is that after this passes?
If it passes.
Right.
Yes.
If it
But
passes.
after, and
Yes.
then who decides on the land purchases? Is it this board or the 5 commissioners?
Ultimately, there would be an agreement of sale that would be approved by your elected officials.
Okay.
The state, however, outlines a process in which to function if the referendum is approved, which is an open space committee of residents, which are appointed by your elected officials, like our other volunteer boards. That committee will put together a mission statement, an updated open space map they'll pursue with the feedback from our elected officials. Ultimately, an agreement of sale would have to be approved here, in this room, in front of our community.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just want to add something to what you were asking. Personally, I'm not going to approve an earned income tax that's just land identified. I have a general mistrust for government, any government collecting money and having it reserved in a bank. So this wouldn't be a cash transaction, it'd be a loan. Whatever we would take to collect would be a loan. So you don't have to accumulate enough cash to buy outright. You have to enact enough earned income tax to buy a land via loan. So my commitment to the community is, hey, if this should pass, I'm not authorizing any tax increase for the purpose of buying land unless it's identified. Agreement of sale is in the future.
Okay.
Near term. Not looking to collect money for 5 years with nothing in the queue, because that's taking money out of people's pockets. My objective would be to enact it when land's identified and ready to go. And the other point would be, you got to be careful what you take 25% from, right? If they take 25% to do playground improvements or other opportunities, that's less money you have to buy open space. So for me, first and foremost, you got to get the open space. The other ancillary stuff can happen later once you've acquired what you want.
Okay. Thank you. I'll probably have more questions at another time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm David Kimmerly, 1137 Park Avenue, Oak Park, Hatfield Township. So I strongly support the passing of this ordinance to put the open space referendum on the ballot. And one thing that came to mind is that a crazy schedule or what? Can you get it done and get the word out in a couple months, basically, you think?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll help out in any way that you need.
Thank you.
So, also too, preserving open space improves health, provides recreation opportunities, promotes tourism, creates a cleaner environment, protects natural and historic resources, but it also is a huge economic income generator. So if you take, for example, Montgomery Township, which now has a paid fire department, Hatfield Township could be in that position of having to hire a paid fire department, more police. You're going to have more stormwater to deal with if you don't do something to get this passed and get this going. So that's pretty much all I want to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sandra Levine, Hertford Drive, Hatfield Township. A couple questions came to mind. The gentleman who mentioned down at Del Webb that their family had donated for farmland. Beyond us, there's a lot of farmland that has been preserved. Are we dealing with farmland to be preserved in Hatfield Township? What are the purposes of these plots that you've identified or others that could come along, what ideas can you present to the community to say this is what we'd like to do with them? I just don't see us as a farming community like the Franconia, Lower Salford, et cetera, which are much further away from here. And I am concerned about the factory workers. We have such a wide way of making income within Hatfield Township, and it's a shame the state just puts the burden on the working people. Some of them have plenty of disposable income, others don't, and I live in a community where many of the people, a lot of them are working in factories, so that's my concern for them. I'm not against, I just want to understand more what opportunities could be available for these people to enjoy. Thank you.
Cindy, what I would say about what we would do is just because someone might come to us, say this passes, and they say, here, I have 10 acres, I'd like to sell it to highest bidder, and we would compete with that. We may get it, we may not, but we may not be interested in it. So it doesn't obligate us to every offer that comes forward with open space for us to take it. So to your question of what would we do, it really would depend on what the opportunity is. So if it's something that's proximal to a park that we already have, that we could grow that park, or it's in a ward where there isn't a lot of public space and there are a lot of young children, we could dedicate that to be a park. Or it could be just, we're going to leave this land open as opposed to putting houses on it. So it really is opportunity dependent. And that's what we would rely on the community board, again, if this were to pass, to assess the opportunities and say, this is one that I think it's worth us looking into because it could provide a benefit to the community. If it's a piece of land that it's landlocked and the general public couldn't get to it, it might be a 5-acre plot of land that we wouldn't be interested in, so we're not obligated to take it. And again, rather than put every piece of open property on the map and maybe frighten some people that we're actually after their property, we're not really after anybody's property. We had to decide some type of cutoff to show residents how much open space is left and how much isn't left, and where the bigger plots of land were, where that might be appealing to a developer to come in and put a large housing development, for example. And a community may not want that. So it really depends on what land and who comes forward to us. And we may reach out to some folks and say, hey, we know you have 5 acres here if you ever decide to sell it. And we've done that with other things along the pool, for example, approached residents who have property and said, if you ever considered, selling your property, give us a jingle, we might be interested in buying it. And it would work similarly to that process.
Yeah, I just think if you have ideas that could sell the idea to the community, like we'd like to have more park space or whatever it is, not just buy open land, but what you conceive it could be used for. It could help you.
Are you comfortable with mentioning?
Sure, and let me go back to, we are, it's a bit dated, but we have already a list of, I think it's 10 properties that we identified as a part of the open space plan. And it's a public document, and it identifies the use, if acquired, for each of those properties. Some have a use, others would be just passive open space to preserve, the kind of the aesthetics of the town and to not add, 500 more cars. Right, exactly.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is preservation. It's buying land, planting trees, doing environmental improvements, rather than more of an active approach.
If you just make that known when you're presenting this to the public, that could be helpful.
Well, you really can't.
There's an
Change
unknown.
over time, that board can
That's correct.
change their mind about what they would do with it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. But to your point, I think it would be good, we can include on our website some of the options that the board can consider over time. because we certainly can't do anything with it. The state has very strict guidelines. If you're going to use these funds, it has to be for X, Y, and Z. We will outline that so people can at least understand the options.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
John Sperling, Welsh Road. You all know where I live by now. I'm not too sure if this is a proper question, but then I'm not known for being too proper anyway. I think it's a terrific idea, actually, especially if you're considering the movie lots.
How'd I know you were going to say that?
I thought you'd know that. Thank you.
Perfect.
Mike Saloni again, sorry, Hatfield. Tom, that you said there's a public document about 10 properties and what you might use those for. Is it possible?
It's on our site, right?
It's on our website. I'll send it to you tonight.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else?
I think we're all set. So
Okay.
should we close the hearing, Ms. Solicitor?
Yes, please, and you can vote on this ordinance.
You want to call for a
Do I have a motion for ordinance number 716, a motion for approval for open space referendum authorization?
So moved. Second.
I heard a motion by Vice President Partha and a second by Commissioner DeLassio. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it has passed. And I think that brings us to committee reports. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're flipping around a little bit. All right, so for committee reports, we're going to go to Planning and Zoning Committee, Commissioner DeLassio.
Thank you, President Lestraka. I'll be very brief. We have something under action items that we'll cover. The Planning and Zoning Board has been very busy. There are a lot of things that are working its way through the system. We had a Planning Commission meeting last night where an applicant is looking to develop the Loganslager campus, which is the theological center that most people, or the former Hatfield High School that sits right on Cowpath Road. They'd like to develop that as senior apartments. They did a very preliminary proposal, so that's not ready to come forward, but there are a number of things that are in the works in addition to that, that Brian and his team are waiting for various documents. That includes Crystal Metalworks, missing marble and mun roofing, the sheets on Bethlehem Pike, the Kerr family farm, and the Nelson family properties. So Planning and Zoning is a very busy committee. Hatfield's a very desirable place to live, and people like to develop and grow their properties, so it keeps us hopping. But that's all I have for tonight, other than the action item that we'll come on to when we get to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to Public Works Committee, Commissioner Zepfel.
Okay, I'll be brief because I know we're getting a little longer. So there are a number of accomplishments and upcoming events that we want to identify for Public Works Committee, the update anyway. First is, there's 5 actually, roadway and stormwater improvements. The Public Works Department completed the inlet and roadway restoration projects in advance of the township's 2026 road program, which ensures the streets are ready for paving and helping maximize the longevity of the upcoming improvements. Second, their nature area enhancements. The Public Works Department completed paving in the nature area parking lot and the Arboretum Trail, providing improved accessibility and better experience for residents. In addition, the new entrance signage and a flagpole have been installed to enhance the appearance to the park. Third, department staffing. Public Works Department welcomed a new employee on June 29th of this year, strengthening the department's ability to maintain our infrastructure and to be able to perform all of these critical functions. Fourth is the community event support. Public Works staff really played an enormous role in the success of our police department grand opening. I want to thank each and every one of them. They seemed like they were everywhere at all times, along with our police staff, just throughout the entire event. They just did an absolutely wonderful job with traffic control, event cleanup, and setup, and all of those items. And last is the 2026 road program. Preparations for the township's annual paving program are complete, and with construction tentatively scheduled to begin in late July or early August, weather permitting. So one special thanks to the Public Works Department for all of those accomplishments, and I know that they've got a lot more work ahead of them, but greatly appreciate their efforts. That's everything I have.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go to Parks and Rec Committee. Okay, so our pickleball is our spring, summer, and fall, Mondays through Fridays, and that's 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that's at our pickleball courts. So check that out online as well on our website. Our events, the Music Feast, summer concerts. We did have one on June 29th, and all of our summer concerts are going to be 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at School Road Park. Obviously, we had to cancel our July 17th concert, and there was going to be a lot of really fun things there, family fun, but because of the weather, I believe that's going to be August 14th. Is that correct, Mr. Bebro?
That is correct.
August 14th.
Yes.
And that's a Friday night?
Yes, Friday night. Yep.
Okay, so just mark your calendars for that because there is a lot of really cool things that are going to be happening besides the concert. It's National Parks and Rec Month, and so we're going to be celebrating our awards that our Parks and Rec Department is receiving. And I think that's what Real Diamond, Balloon will be the concert. Balloon animals, face painting, foam and bubble party, inflatables, petting zoo, our police department will be there, Hatfield and Colmar fire companies will be there, and Zootopia 2 will be the movie. We will have food trucks, Kona Ice, Babalu, barbecue, Chick-fil-A will be there, and more. So mark your calendars for August 14th. Also, mark your calendar for this Monday, July 27th. That's another concert, 6 to 8 at School Road Park. August 10th, I don't know if we're still doing that one, are we?
I don't know.
And August 24th. Check out the website, but August 24th is definitely a go. And August 14th. So check that out on our website. And we want to say good job, amazing job. Our award presenting that we're getting presented annually. We got an annual presentation for the Park and Rec Professionals Day. So good job to our Parks and Rec Department. And that's an individual whose contributions through leadership, community outreach, facility management, maintenance, or program and event planning have directed and influenced the health and vitality of our community. So if you see Ashley, Brody, or anyone else from Parks and Rec, tell them thank you very much and congratulations. Let's see, I talked about the Zootopia. And then, okay, mark your calendar. August 12th, Dash and Splash 5K. Don't miss that. I think it was canceled last year, so please, the weather needs to be good because we haven't had that in a while. And that'll be at 7 p.m. That's a race. And you can pre-register on runtheday.com. And that's my report, so I will move it on to Vice President Partha.
Thank you. So I'll go for the public safety report. So in June 2026, the Hatfield Police Department responded a total of 2,926 call for services, reflecting continued proactive policing and operational activity throughout the community. The department recorded a total 17 Part 1 crime and 30 Part 2 crimes. Significant reduction were observed in theft, burglaries, and criminal mischief incident and families offenses. Retail theft incident remained consistent with the previous year, and while fraud investigation and DUI-related offenses increased. Overall, the reduction in crime categories reflect the department's continued commitment to crime prevention, enforcement efforts, and community-focused policing strategies. The traffic safety for the traffic safety effort remained a priority during June 2026. The department investigated a total of 89 vehicle crashes. Of those incidents, 28 were reportable crashes, accounting for 31 of all crashes during the month. Year to date shows a 3% decrease in reportable crashes compared to 2025. An officer conducted 337 traffic stops and 245 selective enforcement details, resulting in a 419 warning and 118 summons issued. In addition to routine traffic enforcement activities, the department participated in PANDOT aggressive driver enforcement and Bacola PA details on June 5, 9, and 14, reinforcing roadway safety initiative and encouraging compliance with traffic laws. And community engagement remained a key focus throughout the June. Officers conduct 818 total community engagement patrol activities, representing a 48% increase compared to June 2025. In addition to routine engagement efforts, Hatfield Police Department participated in several novel community events, including Coffee with a Cop at Be Still Nutrition, Coffee with Cop at Giant, Pride Flag Rising event, Founders Day celebration, Juneteenth Flag Rising event, and Hatfield Police Department grand opening event. This effort reflects the Hatfield Police Department's ongoing commitment to reducing crime, enhancing traffic safety, fostering positive community relationship, and maintain a visible and proactive presence throughout the township. And this is all. And thank you, Chief.
And I don't think we got to thank you, Chief, for an amazing grand opening and the tours and the events and how many people showed up. And the fireworks were amazing as well. So we just want to say thank you. And we hope we can do something like that again, possibly. But smaller.
If I may,
But
I
fun.
wasn't here. It's the first time that I've gotten to speak about it since we had it, and it was absolutely fantastic. Everybody on the dais, except Brian, helped. But no, everybody was a big help. Having the support of the board and having the support of the public, and I think I'm guessing we probably had around 3,000 people there. It's a huge event for this community, and we are definitely going to look forward to doing something again. I don't know if it can be that grandiose, but we're going to do something again. So thank you.
All right, we're in. Thank you.
Can I jump in on that?
Yes.
I just want to make sure Chief gets credit for this and the community knows this. So the event itself, and those of you who came, we spared no expense, and we had fireworks and other amazing features. The taxpayers did not pay a penny because of Chief's efforts. For 6 months, he went out and built relationships with our business community and raised $70,000 for that event. And I'll be back next year for 80,000. Chief, the Reverend did say he's a philanthropist, so you might want to send him a letter. Something tells me that 12 coats aren't really going to help me. I'll think about it.
Okay, speaking of money, we're going to go to the finance report. As of the end of July, the township's general fund remains in a strong financial position and continues to perform in line with expectations. General fund revenues total $8.31 million compared to $8.22 million at the same point in 2025, reflecting a modest increase despite several revenue categories that are timing dependent. Earned income tax collections remain the township's largest revenue source and continue to perform well, while real estate tax collections remain consistent with prior year levels. Borough Police Service reimbursements continue to provide a stable revenue stream, and permit revenues remain healthy, reflecting continued development activity, and interest earnings are lower than last year due to lower cash balances and interest rate changes. On the expenditure side, general fund expenses total $7.74 million compared to $6.10 million through the same period in 2025. Much of the increase is attributed to contractual salary adjustments, employee benefits, legal services, engineering costs, and continued investment in infrastructure and capital improvements. Public safety continues to represent the township's largest operating expenditure, followed by employee benefits and public works. Public works costs have increased as planned with continued investment in roadway maintenance, stormwater improvements, and the annual paving program. Overall, the general fund reports a year-to-date operating surplus of approximately $579,000, exceeding the budgeted surplus of approximately $275,000. While several significant revenues and expenditures occur later in the fiscal year, the township remains financially stable and well-positioned to meet its 2026 operating and capital commitments while maintaining healthy fund balances. And that's the end of my report. So we're going to move to action items.
I'll take this one.
Okay, thank you.
You have before you Resolution 2614. And this is a resolution I put together recommending the denial of the application for 1295 Cabin Road. And I don't recommend a denial of an application lightly. And I don't think I've ever recommended a denial of an application in Hatfield Township. But staff and the consultants have worked with this applicant on, we believe, 5 iterations and revisions of this plan. They've been to the Planning Commission numerous times. I know Commissioner Andrus has held community meetings. And we cannot, as a staff, recommend an approval of this plan because we are not confident that it doesn't adversely affect the neighboring property in the community. I am also not confident that the waivers are appropriate. You know, as we look at every development, your staff and consultants say to you that we are comfortable or uncomfortable with certain waivers, and it all depends on each development. It stands on its own. Every property is unique. And in this case, we can't recommend any of the waivers. So the resolution that is in front of you is for a denial of the application in its entirety, denying the waivers and denying the applications based on the latest review from Brian's office dated July 1, 2026. So it's my recommendation that you adopt Resolution 26-14.
All right. Resolution 2614. Do I have a motion to deny the application?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Andrus.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Zipfel. All in favor of denying the application, please say aye.
Aye. Denying the application and adopting the resolution.
And
Can we just-
adopting, sorry.
Can we do that one more time?
One more time.
Thank you.
All in favor of denying the application and the resolution 2614.
And adopting the
And adopting the
resolution
resolution.
2614.
And adopting the, okay, let me say it again, sorry.
Sorry to be nitpicky,
No,
but
you're
this
good.
one matters.
Okay. All in favor of denying the application and adopting the resolution 2614? You may say aye. Aye.
Aye. Great, thank you.
And letter B on action items, this is the drainage upgrades bid, Line Lexington Road.
Thanks, President Lestraka. I will introduce this one. Brian may add to my comments. This is a great project and a great example of, I think, how Hatfield does a very good job of listening to our residents and then responding accordingly. First, to thank President Lestraka. The process began here with one of our residents reaching out to our board president, explaining some issues that they were having with drainage, and we went out as a team and met with that resident. We fed her horse, right?
Yes,
An
we
apple.
did. Yeah.
She has a lovely horse back
Carrots.
there. Carrots. Brian's hand, I think maybe, his pinky. But there were issues identified. We relayed to Brian's team. Brian's team began working on a design. And then because of the cost at the time was not budgeted, we pursued a grant. And thanks to Brian and his office, they were successful with grant funding to help us. Not a gigantic grant, but a grant nonetheless, and funds that we don't have to rely on our local taxpayers for. So we have an improvement project coming here that's affecting these 3 residents, and we'll be meeting with them in the next few weeks to discuss the easements and the scope of the project. And tonight's action item for the commissioners is simply award the bid. I think you can see on the item, but just make sure I get this one right. Yeah, we're going to Passerini and Sons in the amount of $93,469, and then we will move forward with coordination with the residents and then coordination with the timing of the improvements. This, just to personalize the project, when it rains, this person floods. And we've dealt with a lot of flooded properties over the years, and she receives a lot of damage to her property even in the moderate rains. So we're excited to see these improvements go in to give her a better quality of life. So if the board would consider. And I do have, I don't know, Brian, we probably don't want to get too technical. We're simply adding drainage. There's the plans, it's not the easiest to read if you're not an engineer.
Yeah, it looks a little technical.
Yeah, it looks like a Jackson Pollock painting. But we're putting in an inlet, bigger pipes, get the drainage off on Lang Lexington underground into a stream, not on her property. That's the bottom line.
And we're doing it on a grant.
And we're doing it without relying on our taxpayers, yes.
Awesome.
Good work. Thank you.
Thank you to our consultant, Brian, for all your work on this and the staff. So we will, if I can have a motion to award a bid to Pastorini and Sons Incorporated in the amount of $93,469. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus, second by Vice President Partha. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right, it has passed. Okay, we will go to letter C, stormwater basin upgrades, Providence Lane and Stratford Avenue. And this is for a motion to award a bid to Delaware Environmental Construction in the amount of $82,123.50. So I'll send that over to you.
Sure.
Okay.
So more grants, more upgrades, more coordination with our residents. I think Brian got sick of hearing about Anton over the years and all the grant money he brought in. So Brian's office also successful in a grant application to improve these two basins, one in Providence Lane, which is illustrated in the slide, and then one in Stratford Park, which is behind the existing field. Both existing basins, both naturalized already, and we're familiar with that language in this room for sure. This is simply to upgrade, and keep in mind too, why are we doing this? The state has a program for all municipalities that's called an MS4 program. We're going to have one of Brian's colleagues come here and probably next month or the following month to explain the program. But there are requirements that every town has to meet, and it's upgrading our stormwater facilities with the bottom line is to reduce sediment, make sure our streams are clean. It's a good thing. However, trying to pay for all of these projects is challenging, so we're able to upgrade both of these basins, both paid for by a grant, thanks to Brian. So another bid award, another project, similar process as Lang Lexington. We'll coordinate with the neighbors, we'll discuss it, we'll move forward with the contractor and get these done. I know Brian's got a whole spiel he wants to give. He's itching to get to the microphone.
I had a good 20 minutes of technical stuff for each of these projects. You stole my thunder, but no, seriously, the only thing, Aaron is 100% right. The basin work is specifically part of requirements through the MS4 program. Certainly, we're happy to get the grant for the township to take care of this project, and it's fairly straightforward. It will reduce pollutants getting to the streams. There's more to it, obviously, but all in all, it's fairly straightforward. A couple of basin modifications. Happy to be doing the work for the township, and we're comfortable. Comfortable making the recommendation for the award.
Good question. Is this the same contractor who worked on the Stewart Drive Basin, or is this a different?
Different. This is a different low bidder.
Yeah. I don't recall the contractor that did the work, although there was.
That was Kenny. It was a different company.
Yeah, because we did basin naturalization way back, and then there was another project that my office wasn't involved in that did the more recent work.
Upgrades.
So yeah,
correct.
I don't remember who did that. This project was me. The low bidder is Delaware Environmental Construction Services. We checked their references. We looked at the bid docs and everything looks like it's in order to the point where we're comfortable making the recommendation.
Okay. So I would like to ask for a motion to award a bid to Delaware Environmental Construction in the amount of $82,123.50. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner DeLassio. Second by Vice President Partha. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, it has passed. We'll go to letter D, and this is for adoption of Resolution 2616 for the liquor license transfer for Sheets.
Nothing special on this resolution. This is just approving the transfer doing our part in the process. They obviously have to go to the Liquor Control Board yet, and they haven't even been through land development. So this is just the very beginning stages, but the resolution is in order for you to adopt it.
Okay, so do I have a motion for approval for adopting Resolution 2616?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Zipfel. Second. Second by Commissioner DeLassio. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, it has passed. Okay, and for the next letter E, this is for our police officer hiring process, Civil Service Commission. This is something we did discuss in executive session, and this would be for a motion to begin the process to establish a hiring eligibility list. Is there anything else
Sure.
to add to that?
I'll just elaborate
thank you.
briefly, if you don't mind, President Lestracco. Just for the community's sake, I know the commissioners are aware, Hatfield Township's one of 91 first-class townships in Pennsylvania. As a first-class township, we're bound by different rules than a second-class township. And one of those is we have to follow a civil service rules and regulation and process when we hire police officers. So this motion tonight by the commissioners allows our Civil Service Commission, which are made up of resident volunteers appointed by the commissioners, to begin the process of creating an eligibility list. When that list is then developed, the list comes back to our commissioners, then the commissioners at an upcoming meeting will approve conditional hiring of those officers. And then at some point, we will have them here for a swearing in. This is a process we've gone through many times, and beginning it again tonight.
Thank you so much. Do I have a motion to begin the process to establish a hiring eligibility list?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Zipfel. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it has passed. Do we have any other township staff reports?
No further reports for this evening, commissioners. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a solicitor's report by chance?
All is well.
Okay, very good. Okay, next comes our citizens' comments. If you would like to make a citizen's comment, please come to the microphone and state your name and your address, please.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Ahern. I live at 2407 School Road. Tonight I'm here on behalf of the Pool Advisory Board, where I've proudly volunteered for more than 10 years. As I have shared previously, 2 of my sons are lifeguards at the pool. My parents are regular patrons, and I also enjoy spending my weekend afternoons there. The Hatfield Aquatic Center is an important part of my family, just as it is other families in our community. For those who may not be familiar with the Pool Advisory Board, it is composed of volunteer citizen appointees, both from Hatfield Township and the borough. The board considers policies and issues related to the Hatfield Aquatic Center, including matters affecting the staff and the members. At prior meetings, the majority of the board had decided to pause the activities of the Pool Advisory Board while Hatfield Township and Hatfield Borough renegotiated several cooperative agreements. My question for this evening is, where do those negotiations currently stand? Specifically, have the cooperative agreements been finalized? And if so, what is the timeline for reconvening the Pool Advisory Board and resuming its work?
We do not have an update right now. Any other citizens' comments?
I do have some comments. So last meeting, we're kind of pressed for time with Pulte development. I made a statement that there was a pool advisory meeting held without my knowledge or opportunity to attend. I didn't get any acknowledgement that I'm expected to be invited to it. It's not like, hey, I'll think about it. I'm a board member of the Hatfield Township Board. I need some acknowledgement, nod head, thumbs up, got it. Something that says that when there's a meeting with the pool manager or any of the staff that I'm expected to be there, and it happens after hours, after work hours, I can attend. Some acknowledgement of that.
That will happen.
Can I make a comment here? I don't think it is possible to prevent one board member from talking to another staff member without other board members there. So for example, it's impossible for, if I want to talk to Aaron or Scott or to Brian, for Shahidul to say, you cannot do that unless I'm present. So I do have the right as a board member to talk. There was no pool advisory, so I think you misspoke there. There was a conversation between me and JT, and I'm the commissioner charged with the aquatic center. That's all that happened.
I don't know what the topic was, but I am able to attend those meetings. And you've noticed, you've been strong-arming folks to make decisions for the balance of the board.
I've not strong-armed anyone.
Oh, sure.
I just had a conversation with JT about how
The pool advisory board was dissolved. 3 people on this board decided to dissolve it, or pause it, whatever you want to call it. I expect to be invited to those meetings to know what's going on.
If there is a pool advisory board meeting, you will
No,
be
no.
invited.
Any discussion about the pool, I want to be invited and be able to attend.
I won't promise that. I can't promise that. I need the freedom to be able to talk to a staff member, and other board members need the freedom to be able to talk to a staff member. If Tom would like to talk to somebody at Public Works, then I'm going to say, Tom,
It's a matter
you
of
can't
trust.
talk to someone at Public Works unless I'm invited.
It's a matter of trust. The only person on the board I don't trust is you. And
Well, that's your
prerogative. I want to be invited to any discussions about the board that goes on from here forward.
You have wands. You may
No,
not get them.
It's expected. The
I
president.
don't know how you can
If there's a
implement this,
pool
Jen.
advisory board that is reconvening.
It's not a pool advisory
but they
board,
have
it's a township
not
commissioner
so
meeting
far.
with a staff member. I want to be invited to it. It's expected that I'm invited to it. Just because you're the chair of that now dissolved board doesn't mean you get to make decisions for the rest of us.
Then I want to be, it's an unreasonable expectation. I can make anything that you talk to a staff member, I want to be present because we don't have trust. So you want to talk to a staff member about any topic, I would like it to be convened to my availability. That's what you're asking. It's impossible.
I don't talk to staff members, actually. I talk to Aaron when I have issues.
Oh, he's a staff member. If you want to talk to
It's
Aaron,
about-
I'd like to be
it's about
present.
residents' issues.
It is an unreasonable request, Jerry.
No, it's not.
Well, I'm not going to abide by it, and
Reconvene the pool advisory board so we have an open discussion and dialogue. The 3 of you can decide to do that.
All right, well, let's save that for another meeting. We can have a meeting and discuss that, or you can at another time. Any
So
other?
Is that going to happen next meeting then? Because you keep putting it off.
Well,
we don't know what the borough is doing. We can't
I'm
move
not interested in what the
forward.
borough is doing. I'm interested in making sure the pool advisory board has input, and then I have input to what happens.
Anybody, as I said in my last update, anybody could go to JT and go to the pool and provide any advice they would like to provide, or they can come here and provide the advice here. There
Or we
are
can have a
mechanisms
meeting.
for people to provide advice. You don't like it, but there are opportunities.
Not formalized.
Any other citizens' comments? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus and seconded by Commissioner DeLassio. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we are adjourned.
Can I bother you to sign this so I can copy it and scan it?